Hi friends, happy Sunday. I got a haircut yesterday that I'm very happy with. The curls that I did this morning don't seem to be holding up very well. I have to figure out how I'm gonna curl it with these new layers in, but anyways. It's June 11th today, and it's two of my best friends' birthdays today, so we're having them over for like a potluck dinner. A bunch of us are making food for them, and we're going out to this place called Activate, which is like a combination of, I don't actually really know. I know it's like kind of like video games, but you're actually like moving around. And there's like things that light up and things you have to interact with. And it's like exercise, but games. So that'll be fun. So as you might have seen, I posted on here and on Instagram that I was trying to do a sketchbook challenge, or I was gonna try and finish a sketchbook in a week. I started this challenge last weekend because I had brought this sketchbook with me camping. It was just one I'd had kicking around and I had like barely used. I filled out few of the first few pages, and I just brought that and some like random Crayola markers because I don't usually bring my most precious art supplies with me when I'm going camping because I don't want them to get damaged or like they end up sitting in the sun all day. So I just brought these cheapo markers and a sketchbook I didn't really care about, but I just sat down and I ended up filling up so many sketchbook pages in such a short period of time during the main day that we were out there, just like sitting in the sun, like drawing while I was chatting with my friends and stuff. And the stuff I was coming up with, I was really excited about. Like I just came up with these ideas for little patterns. I was like, this is amazing. I feel like this process of pushing myself to just like fill the book and not put pressure on what I'm putting into it is really good for me. So then I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I set myself up, like I'm gonna commit to it on social media, like obviously not formally, but that I'm gonna finish this sketchbook and try and do it in like a week and just get stuff down as quickly as I can. And then I can do like a really fun sketchbook tour that's like, look at the way I did this, look what I learned from it, blah, blah, blah. But I very quickly, after like coming home from that camping trip and trying to continue to work on it and keep filling it, was like very miserable. Like every time I would avoid going to sit down at my desk and work on it because I just completely lost my motivation with it. I was starting to feel like what I was putting on the page had no purpose behind it. I wasn't getting that, like, sometimes when I just start drawing, these ideas start to flow, and it's like I had used that up. And then also the other problem with it, trying to do it in a week just meant that like when I would sit down and try and fill it, I couldn't let myself do what I was feeling inspired to do necessarily, because it had to be something I could do quickly. So that whole plan just kind of derailed, which is fine because I felt so much better once I said, you know what, screw it, like it's not happening, I'm not gonna do it, there's no real reason I need to do this except for the fact that I posted on social media that I was going to, and nobody probably would have even noticed that I didn't do it if I weren't talking about it right now either. And it just was really freeing, and it just reminds me that it's so important to, well, it's important to set goals and commit yourself to them and follow through with them. It's also just as important to let them go when they're not serving you. And I realized very quickly that this goal was actually probably going to do more harm to me than good. And the second that I let it go and just was like, whatever, I'm not doing this. And then I just said, you know what, I'm gonna not force myself to draw. I'm just gonna like let the creativity come from where it naturally comes from, because I have slowly been learning over time that trying to push myself to make art when there isn't like the natural inspiration from life driving it leads me to create stuff that I'm not very happy with. But interestingly, and I think this was kind of a fluke, but very lucky timing, the same day I went outside and was watering my little seedlings. I recently planted a whole bunch of seeds in a bunch of planters in my front and backyard, and I was just planting them and watching how the one that I was watering at the moment had no little sprouts popping up the day before, but that moment I could see the first little sprouts coming up, and I just like let myself feel like it's such a joyful feeling, like seeing these little sprouts, like you feel like you nurtured them into life. And the way sprouts look, the little green leaves are just so precious and they make me so happy. And just that image of the little sprouts popping up from the soil just like conjured up such a strong inspiration for me to like deep dive into like making an illustration that like represents that and like the feelings that I have when I look at that. So that's currently what I'm working on, and I'm very deliberately going at it from the approach of I'm not gonna try and make something quickly. I'm going to like do my research and look up pictures of illustrations that have a similar feel and kind of like take elements from a bunch of stuff and work them together so I create something that I'm actually happy with. Basically, the lesson that I've learned is that I need to find the healthy balance between pushing myself to practice and do things that aren't necessarily fun, but also making sure that I'm not unnecessarily pressuring myself to do things that are not gonna help me in the long run. I'm not sure what's coming up next in this vlog because we are leaving for Toronto tomorrow. We fly out there, it's about like a 3-4 hour flight, just for we're there for 3 nights, so like technically 4 days, but we have flying days on the first and last day, so it's gonna feel really short, I think. But we are going out there because Kelsey and I play in a band together, which is really cool. I think I've talked about this on my channel before. There's actually a video from a couple months ago where I did like a week in my life and I featured a show that we were playing, so it's with those guys. So we're going out there to play a showcase and another show out there, which is really neat. We've been kind of doing a few little mini tours across Canada this year. This is the farthest we've gone to play so far, so I'm pretty stoked. I might try and like vlog little bits of that trip. I think that's gonna be the plan. I can make no promises about what the time there is gonna look like and what I will be filming, so we shall see, but I'm looking forward to it regardless.
the bird
like
sounds.
a toad scream.
Touch it. Wow! 3, 2, 1, kaeley jade. Yeah! 3, 2, 1. Kaeley jade!
Yeah, there we go. Popping in with a little artist update to wrap up this vlog. I feel like part of being an artist is kind of coming up against struggles all the time. I think part of growth is just hitting walls over and over again, because if you're not hitting walls, then that means you're just doing the same thing. And for me lately, the wall has been, I feel like my skill set is very limited and I want to be able to create stuff that better expresses kind of the ideas and emotions and concepts that I want to express. And I know that to do that, I have to work on techniques and styles that are kind of outside of my comfort zone. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to do that. And what's kind of been working for me lately is I think I want to take more of a focus on doing more elaborate illustrations that are crafted with a lot of thought and planning behind them. So like as I kind of showed earlier in this video, I had an idea for an illustration and I did kind of a deep dive on finding other illustrations and reference photos that emit the same kind of feelings so that I can kind of absorb all of that and put that into my work. I haven't really had a proper chance to do a lot of this yet because I've been so busy the last couple of weeks. I'm really grateful for all of the really cool opportunities I have in my life. I have lots of jobs that I love. I'm grateful that for me personally that I get to have this life where I have so many income streams and get to do different things every day, because I think personally it's the best thing for me. I don't think I'm a 40 hours a week, 9 to 5 kind of person. Which is funny because I used to think that I was, but as I've grown into myself and let myself do what I love and learn more about myself and who I really am, I'm realizing that I do want to be the kind of person who builds their own career based around all the little things that I love. And it's an ongoing process and it's wonderful and it's stressful, but it's a really cool thing that not everybody gets to do, and I'm grateful for that. I completely derailed myself. I have no idea what I was trying to say before that. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. What I was saying is that while this life makes me super busy and it's hard to balance everything, I wouldn't have it any other way, because it's just, I think, the best case scenario for me, and I'm grateful to get to do what I do. But it is hard sometimes feeling I have all of these goals for my business and my art and to eventually be primarily self-employed or freelance, or whatever term will make sense at the time when I get there. And I just have so much going on that moving through that path has been really slow. And I'm keep trying to remind myself that it's the kind of thing that it's kind of a blessing in disguise that I'm kind of forced to take it slowly because I don't have a lot of time to do it, because I really think that the slower and more carefully you build your foundation, the stronger it will be. I find it really hard not to get sucked up into comparing myself to other people who are doing similar things to me that I see on social media and feeling like my path needs to look like theirs. But it can't possibly, because what I have going on is so much different than what anybody else does. And I need to keep reminding myself that I have to listen to myself and my own needs and choose what's right for me and not choose it because it seems to be working for someone else. So I have been a fan of the Ologies podcast for a very long time. If you haven't listened to Ologies by Ali Ward, it's like one of the best informational learning podcasts out there. I feel like at this point it's so popular. I'd be really surprised to hear if people who hadn't heard of it. But at the end of every episode, Ali tells a secret at the very end, which is such a cool way to entice people to keep listening all the way to the end, and I really like that, and I kind of want to steal it for myself but put my own twist on it. So I think what I want to do is at the end of every video, I'm going to start sharing a little fun fact. It might be like a random piece of trivia, it might be about me, but there's going to be, if I can keep up with it, a fun fact at the end of every video. So the fun fact for today is that today I hit a 200-day Duolingo streak. I've been learning French for kind of on and off my whole life, and however many months ago 200 days is, I decided to pick it back up again. It's kind of interesting to see how I took it in junior high school and then I took it in university, and I did Duolingo for a while, so I've got a lot in there, but a lot of it kind of left for a while and is like quickly coming back as I do it. So learning languages is really interesting. But the other day, one of the other bands at the showcase we were playing, they were francophone and singing in French, and it really showed me how much I do not understand French yet, that I could not pick up a single word they were singing. So there's your fun fact. Thanks for watching. You are the best, and I will catch you in the next one.